Good morning, everybody, and it's Tim again. And this morning, I wanted to talk to you real quick about fire preparedness. One of the most important things that you want to be when you go out in the woods or camping or hiking is to be prepared. You want to make sure you have the right gear you need. You don't want to be caught with your pants down, things like that. So, my real quick scenario today is, say you're out, you've been out by yourself a couple times camping, you found a nice wooded area, you're pretty comfortable going out. These crazy weather temperatures lately, they've been in the negatives, and then they're up in the 55s and sunny, and now we got this ice storm coming in again, and the temperatures are dropping down into the 30s, high 20s. So you're out, it's 55, it's the sun's going, find your place to camp, and it's still early, so you're like, heck with it. You throw your gear down, you're like, I'm gonna go explore. I got plenty of time to set my camp up, get a fire going later, whatever. Well, you're out exploring, you go fall in the creek, now you're sopping wet, everything on you sopping wet. It's been a few hours, so that temperature's dropped into possibly the 40s now. Hypothermia can set in at 50. The core body temperature is 98.6, and hypothermia sets in at 95. So it only has to drop 3 degrees for you to go into hypothermia. Now your hands could be cold, your dexterity's bad, which makes doing anything harder. So you're back at camp, you're kind of panicking, and you got nothing ready. And you don't have a tent up. You could lay in your sleeping bag, get naked, take all your clothes off, get in your sleeping bag, and warm up. But the problem is you still don't have shelter. You still don't have a fire to dry your wet clothes out. So now you're just kind of stuck sitting in a sleeping bag up against a tree somewhere. So one way of not having to go through that is when you find your campsite, just set your tent up quick. They really don't take that long. And if it is early, you got plenty of time to explore. Get your fire ready, have all your materials ready. When you're walking in, keep an eye out on the ground, up off the ground, for any good tinder. I got a few things. I got cattail in the eastern woodlands. This stuff's everywhere. This stuff's great for fire. I got some cedar bark, some honeysuckle twigs, dry grasses, and you can take that stuff, shove it in your pockets, and take it with you, and then keep it up off the ground, put it in your tent. You sure don't want to have it in your pockets when you're falling in the water, but accidents happen anywhere. This is just my little scenario. So now you're sopping wet, you got nothing ready. Anything you touch now for tinder is going to get wet, and wet tinder doesn't burn. So have your fire ready. So what we're going to do, the wind's kicking up. So we'll just get down here. So first I'm going to take my cattail and fluff it up. Cattail is what I call flash tinder, because it goes up real quick, so you need to be ready. So if you have all this stuff kind of pre-fluffed and stuff in a bag, or if not, you can dry your hands off pretty well. Have your cattail. We'll throw in my cedar bark for good measure. You want to go from the finest stuff. Throw my honeysuckle on there. And I have a little ferro rod. It's off Amazon. Little tiny guy. Let's see what we get. Whoops. And just like that, just a few strikes, and you have flame. Then you can get your grasses over here. Throw them on top. And take your twigs. And just like that. Whew. So that took no time at all. And now you have a fire. You have your fuel. You can start warming yourself up, drying your clothes out. And just a little bit of preparedness. With using, if your hands are real cold and you can't use your fingers, a ferro rod and any other lighter is going to be a little bit more difficult to use. But if you have it set up and ready, it's going to be a lot easier than trying to scramble around and find it when it's too late. Some people might be like, why can't you use a Bic lighter? Everybody takes Bic lighters. Bic lighters are great to take. Problem is, when they get wet, they're wet. Now you gotta spend time to dry it out for it to work, and they don't like to work in like freezing conditions. So you're gonna have to have it on your body or somewhere warm. So if you have it on and you fall in the water, it's now wet. So it's always good to have multiple ways to make fire. So that's just my little scenario for the day. This is Tim from Words from the Woods. Till next time.